Well, g'day flatties and globe defenders, it's Critical Think from Down Under. I've just got a quick video for you today. And noticed that Ranty is attempting to advance the science of the flat earth in the area of sunsets. But as usual, he's got it hopelessly wrong. So I am preparing another video on looming for you, Ranty, don't worry about that. But right now, let's just look at this sunset idea of yours. And you can see there's a sunset that I've taken at Patong Beach in Phuket. And no, that's not glare. It's a lot of smoke and dust in the atmosphere, and that's the real size of the sun. But let's carry on. So Randy has grabbed this video from somewhere, and it shows the sun in a glared state, as most cameras will show a glare if they're exposed to too much light. And then this particular person has engaged a couple of polarized filters to show that the real sun is smaller than the glare. In this case, it's much smaller. And that's okay, but wait till you see what Ranty does next.
And obviously this is all glare, right? Obviously this is all glare. Where
He just committed a non-sequitur there, and just because that other photo showed glare, he assumes that this photo shows glare as well. That this, what he's seeing there, is actually the real size of the sun in this photo, and I'm going to go on to prove it. There's several things to get on with, but let's just listen to the rest of what he says.
in the center of the sun, right? And I'm going to increase it to it's about that big, right? So I'm going to suggest that the real sun is, give or take, around about that sort of size and roughly there in the center of the sun. Now,
So there are a couple of problems with this. Ranty wants to make the assertion that that circular object there, that there is a glare and not the real sun, and he wants to assert that the real sun is small there. So this is to favour his flat earth argument that the sun does not set. But there's a couple of obvious problems with this, in that when the sun is low to the horizon and you zoom in like that, the camera auto adjusts to the aperture, and you will see the real outline of the sun, and I will prove this in a little while. The other thing is if this was just glare, how come we can see this ship? If this was just glare, this ship would not be shadowing the sun like that, and windmills. So there is another issue here that no flat earther has ever addressed, and I don't know if they ever will, but if the flat earth sun were to be so close to the horizon, then how high is it and how far away is it? No flat earther has ever been able to answer that question. And you know why? Because it would be impossible on a flat earth for the sun to even be there. And not only that, it would be in an impossible direction. If you were to take the direction of the sun there and look at it on a flat earth map, the sun would be in a totally different direction. But don't worry about that. Let's just try and concentrate on this for the moment.
and I said, if you have a direct line of sight to the real sun, how come when every time you see a sunset, and if you have a direct line of sight to the real sun, which is in the center of the glare, if you had a direct line of sight to it without the glare, why are you seeing the glare setting?
It's not the glare setting.
It's deadly serious. We can prove that the glare of the sun isn't the size of the real sun, and yet you cannot have an image like this, a sunset, with the glare setting, if you still have a direct line of sight to the real sun, which is behind the glare. It is an impossibility, and you guys hate that, and you don't want this line of questioning to go down, and that's why everybody's dropped in, and that's why we've got little troll accounts such as this Phil KO saying that we are just trolling. We are not trolling. This is serious. This is advancement in flat earth understanding about sunsets, and you just don't like it.
Randy's getting a bit excited there. And all because he thinks that this sun that he sees there is not the real sun, it's just a glare circle. Well, here we go. I'm going to show you this video now. It's just parts of it. I've set up 2 cameras one morning. This is a sunrise, and my P900 has an infrared filter on it, and I will insert a solar filter when the sun comes up. But these 2 cameras, I've got 2 synchronized cameras, both looking at the sunrise. So we'll just skip through this a bit. There is a whole video that I'll put a link in the description if you want to watch at your leisure. But here is the highlights here. So we've got to wait for the sun to come up. I try out my infrared filter, then wait for the sun to come up. Now the sun's coming up, so I'm putting on my infrared filter again, and as you can see on there, there is an infrared mirage. Yes indeed, quite common at this time of the year. And with my P1000 zoomed out, there's a little bit of glare there, and when we zoom in on the P1000, you'll see that we lose the glare, and we can see the exact same outline as the P900 with the IR filter and the solar filter. So what you see there with a zoomed in P1000 at sunrise or sunset, if you can see the outline, that's not glare, that's actually the sun. So there goes that little bit of extension of knowledge in the flat earth field of sunsets. That's just plain wrong, Ranty. And the other thing is the bumpy edges are due to refraction, right? So it's not due to glare. Well, I'll just play a little bit here, and you can go and look at the whole video if you like. The link is in the description. And Ranty, you're well and truly busted on this one, so you're going to have to give up this idea of yours on the flat earth sunset. Anyway, please make sure Ranty gets to see this.